Hi, this is Darcy with Food for Your Life, Food for Your Soul. Actually, I'm hanging out in my kids' room just because it's the quietest room in the house right now. But anyways, wanted to talk to you today about fire cider. I don't know if anyone has heard about it recently. There's been a lot of posts since September on people making different varieties of fire cider. For those who are interested in what it is, it's a fire tonic that is spicy, vinegar-based remedy that is used as an immunity booster, cold remedy for sinus relief and general wellness. And it is particularly used during the cold and flu season. And most fire ciders, I guess, are technically an oxymel. And what an oxymel is a medicinal tonic that's made with vinegar and honey. And there are several key spice ingredients that are infused in apple cider vinegar, and this is typically an apple cider vinegar base with the mother in it, along with herbs and citrus to create a tangy, uplifting tonic that will burn the bug right out of you. And literally it does kind of burn the bug right out of you because it can be very spicy and very hot. So if anyone is interested in how to make fire cider, I'm going to say it is best usually made in the late summer to early fall. And it gives time for you to actually steep your fire cider before cold and flu season kicks into full gear. And so it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks before the onset of cold and flu season for you to kind of like, I'm going to say, infuse or, ferment your tonic. A lot of people that do fermenting will say it's an infusion. It's not a fermentation, but I think it's kind of a mixture of both. But I think it kind of all depends on the ingredients that you add to your tonic. And if you do put honey in it directly while it is during that 4 to 6 week period, technically that honey will ferment. So I think it is kind of a mixture of an infusion and a fermenting. And typically too, some people will add honey after the infusion happens and kind of mix honey in with the fire cider before they consume it. So I guess at that point it is an oxymel. But anyway, some ingredients, and I will tell you what I had in mind. And I was missing a key ingredient. I was missing horseradish. I didn't have any horseradish on hand, but I used other ingredients. And so I can tell you basically what I put in mine. I put rosemary, thyme, and sage. And a lot of those herbs tend to have some antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant type properties to it. And so they definitely kind of help with fighting like any sort of fungal, bacterial, viral types of infections. And they also sometimes, I think the thyme even has antiseptic types of qualities in it too. So I had rosemary, thyme, and sage. And then I also had ginger. And ginger also helps to improve immunity, and it helps relieve gas issues with nausea, stomach upset. It reduces pain. So ginger, a lot of times people will drink ginger tea if they're feeling nauseated. So, and it definitely kind of helps with the immunity. Garlic, it also helps boost your immunity, and it also has antibiotic properties to it. I had turmeric, which is full of antioxidants and fights inflammation. Of course, though, if you have turmeric, for it to actually work properly and to release the chemicals within turmeric to have the anti-inflammation issues and the antioxidants, you have to include black pepper. Those two kind of go hand in hand. And black pepper, it also, besides facilitating the nutrient absorption of things like turmeric, it also clears congestion. I also put in mine lemon, lime, and orange slices. And they all contain antioxidants and vitamin C's, and they always help to soothe sore throats. So any of your citrus can definitely help with that. I included an onion, which is also very high in nutrients and antioxidants and has a lot of antibacterial properties to it. I included cloves. It has high antioxidants. It can kill bacteria. I had melanin. Melanin is a weed. A lot of people don't know it. It grows all clear across the United States, but it's a very helpful weed because it calms inflammation, and it is also an expectorant. I had a jalapeno in mine, or a couple jalapenos, and it includes nutrients, antioxidants, pain relief, anti-inflammatory, alleviates congestion, and fights infections. It's a little spice there. And I also added some cayenne pepper that has some similar things. Pain relief, boosts metabolism. Pineapple has a chemical in it, they call bromelain, and that helps relieve congestion, relieves coughing, boosts immunity, and is an anti-inflammatory. And I did put in my raw honey, which is an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial type of deal there. So it's like bacteria, fungus. Oh, what's the other one? Viral. That's the other thing I was missing. My brain. Sometimes I've got an old mind. It doesn't always work. But anyways, that's raw honey. It also eases the sore throat. And of course, the apple cider vinegar with the mother. It kills bacteria, detoxifies the body, sore throat relief, and anti-inflammatory and antifungal. And so, anyway, so you put all that in a big old mason jar. I used a half gallon. And I filled it up with my apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And so after it steeps for 4 to 6 weeks, what I did is I ended up basically draining out all of my fire cider from the ingredients. And then I put that into a mason jar, and then everything I had left over, I actually put on my dehydrator, dehydrated it all, and pulverized it into a powder that I can also use in cooking as just a spice rub or something that I can kind of put on meat. So it's kind of like no waste. You can kind of do your fire cider, you use your ingredients, you grind them all up, and then you later use it in cooking. And if you hear anything, that's my child just kind of, I know she's 3.5, almost 4, and she's kind of having her little tantrums in the background. But anyway, I have a feeling she's upset at the TV or a game she's playing. One of those things. So anyways, using fire cider, basically you can use it to ward off colds right away as a preventative tonic. And a lot of people sometimes will take a shot, glass type size, about an ounce, and maybe kind of kick it back and drink it. And they may mix it with honey just to kind of make it more palatable. And it does help clear the sinuses because it does have the cayenne pepper and the jalapenos in it. And they say here at the first sign of a cold, take half an ounce shot of the fire cider, followed by a drop or full every few hours. And so I'm going to say I didn't do that. I recently had a cold, and what I basically did is I took about what was equivalent to a shot 3 times a day. I took it pretty much breakfast, lunch, dinner. And at first I was just taking the straight shot, and it was like, ooh, kind of potent, kind of like it was kind of strong. But the best way I seemed to take it that I really kind of enjoyed, it was more palatable for me, is I actually took that shot and mixed it in with some water and honey and made a tea in it. So I basically steeped it in a tea. I poured it in the water, some hot water, and then put in my raw honey, and then I drank it as a tea, and it was much more palatable, much more enjoyable for me to do it that way. And so I did that 3 times a day. And I'm going to tell you, I had when you get the feeling in the back of your throat, like a cold's coming on, that happened to me. I did it my little fire cider did that the first night, woke up the next day. I think I took it in the morning and the evening. And then my day 3, I was definitely having the symptoms. And so I upped it to 3 times a day. And day 3, day 4, day 5, I finally got some good relief from it. And then I was bad. I didn't really start taking some more, but I still have some sinus drainage. But for me, with my history of colds, typically what will happen to me is a cold will lay me up for a couple weeks, because usually I'll start off with a cold and then it'll progress to sinusitis, and then I have a sinus infection, and then I'm, sucking down the Mucinex, and then if it progresses even more, then I'm running off to the doctor and getting a script for an antibiotic. That is typically my pattern, and I usually get this in the fall and in the spring. And this year I didn't get anything in the fall, but it now hit me later as we are in December. And I'm going to say it's mostly gone. And this time, I don't really have a sinus infection. I have a little bit of sinus drainage left, but not much. But the fire cider really kind of knocked it out pretty quickly for me. So I will say that it was definitely something I'll probably use again. I think you can keep it up to 18 months in a cold, dark cupboard. I'm going to say I actually drank through about half of my mason jar, and I had a quart-sized jar. So I might have a little bit for the next time, and then I'm going to be needing to make some more fire cider. So It does not need to be refrigerated. And like I said, it's pretty much shelf stable because of the apple cider vinegar in it. And plus, if you do put raw honey in it with your apple cider vinegar, those two ingredients are going to make it shelf stable because it's going to basically ferment a little bit, and it's going to have all the good bacteria to keep it from becoming a little botulism pot. So you don't really have to kind of worry about that. If you want to prefer to take it cold, then yeah, you may want to throw it in the refrigerator. But I just kind of let mine set out, and I would just basically take what would be equivalent of a shot, put it in a mug, add some water, heat it up, and then pretty much swirl in and add my raw honey. And I have myself a lovely tea that I took, like I said, 3 times a day. Took it for a few days, and pretty much it has cleared up my cold pretty quickly. So that's something, if you are thinking about a home remedy and you're trying to avoid chemicals, let's say you have issues like with fatty liver disease or some other health condition, and you're kind of tired of putting in all the like the medicines that the doctor give you, for instance, the antibiotics, they say like we've overused them so much they're not as effective. Well, if you could use a fire cider and knock it out, not necessarily have to run to the doctor and get the prescription for your antibiotic, that'll pretty much kill all of your healthy gut bacteria along with your bad when you take it, then, you know, the fire cider might be a better alternative, because then it's basically going to knock out the bad stuff while keeping your lovely good gut flora still happy and flourishing within you, and maybe help kind of promote and develop it. Because I'm going to guess that the fire cider, I mean, I haven't read this, but I'm guessing with how it is prepared, that it probably does have some prebiotic, probiotic things going on with it that makes it kind of shelf stable. So I would not be too surprised if there's some lactobacteria swirling around in it, which would be really good for your gut health. So anyways, that's it for today. If you have any questions, please comment. If you have any concerns, please comment. Do what you feel like you need to do. And anyways, God bless. Have a good day. Bye.